The world felt too loud. Every sound in the city echoing in my mind, a constant barrage of noise and movement that left me restless and yearning for something quieter, something real. I needed to escape, to find a place where I could hear my own thoughts and reconnect with the rhythm of nature, far from the chaos of daily life. Patagonia whispered adventure, promising raw wilderness at the edge of the world. Its vast, untamed landscapes called to me, offering a sense of freedom and possibility that I couldn't ignore. Spending 100 days there alone was a call from deep within my soul, a challenge that felt both daunting and exhilarating, as if the land itself was daring me to discover what I was truly made of. My family saw only dangers, their faces etched with worry as they hugged me goodbye. But I knew this was my path, a journey I had to take to find out who I really was. It wasn't just survival, it was about stripping away the non-essential, letting go of comforts and distractions, and learning to live with only what truly mattered. Packing my gear, I felt both excitement and trepidation. Each item I chose had to earn its place, and every decision felt like a step closer to the unknown. As the truck disappeared, solitude washed over me, leaving me alone with the wind and the wild, the silence both comforting and intimidating. Could I endure 100 days in this unforgiving environment? The question lingered, heavy with doubt, but also with hope for transformation. My goal was to live with the land, not just on it, to become part of the landscape, to respect its power, and to learn from its challenges. I wanted to feel the sting of cold, to let the wind bite my skin and remind me that I was alive, present in every moment. I craved the warmth of a fire built with my own hands, the simple comfort of heat in the vast, chilly expanse. And I longed for the satisfaction of self-reliance, of knowing that I could provide for myself, no matter how tough things became. This was a total immersion into the wild, a test of spirit and endurance. The adventure had begun, and there was no turning back. I was ready to face my fears, to embrace the unknown, and to discover the strength that lay hidden within me. This was where I was meant to be, on the wild edge, listening to the call that had always been there, waiting for me to answer. The first days were a brutal awakening. Patagonia tests you from the first step with relentless wind and cold. Finding a campsite was a battle against nature's power. Crossing glacial rivers taught me respect for nature. Food was a constant concern. Foraging felt clumsy at first. I learned the land provided, if you knew where to look. Setting snares required patience and understanding of animal behavior. Every decision carried weight. The landscape was breathtaking yet harsh. I was a guest in a world of giants, learning its rules quickly. The beauty demanded my full attention and respect. Survival was about adapting and respecting the land. Patagonia became my teacher, a place where every day brought new lessons and challenges. The landscape itself seemed to demand respect, its vastness both humbling and inspiring. The lessons were often harsh, but always profound, shaping my understanding of nature and myself in ways I never expected. The weather was unpredictable, shifting from calm to fierce in moments, demanding constant vigilance and adaptability. Each gust of wind and sudden downpour reminded me how small I was in the face of nature's power. Fire became my ally, a source of warmth and comfort, but making it was a daily challenge. The wind could snatch away a spark in an instant, forcing me to learn patience and persistence. Dry tinder was precious, and nurturing a spark became a ritual that required focus and care. Each successful flame felt like a small victory against the elements. Trekking across the endless steppe taught me patience and the importance of focusing on the immediate journey rather than the distant goal. Every step was a lesson in endurance. Navigating without technology connected me deeply to the land. I learned to trust my instincts, to read the subtle cues in the landscape, and to find my way using only the tools I carried and the knowledge I gained. I learned to read the sky, the stars, and the terrain, using them as guides when the path ahead was unclear. The night sky became a map, and the land itself a living textbook. The land became part of my mental map, etched into memory with every journey. Each route, each landmark became familiar, woven into my experience. Every detail mattered. I was present and aware, noticing the smallest changes in the wind, the color of the sky, or the texture of the ground beneath my feet. The journey was as much mental as physical, requiring resilience, reflection, and a willingness to adapt to whatever came my way. I learned endurance and perspective from the vast landscape, understanding my place in the world and the value of perseverance. The wilderness was a classroom, teaching survival, self-reliance, and a deep appreciation for the beauty and challenges of the natural world. Weeks in, I found a rhythm dictated by the sun, the moon, and the stars. The natural world became my clock, guiding my every move. Mornings began before dawn, breaking camp methodically, ensuring nothing was left behind. Each item had its place, and every action had its purpose. Routine was comfort, a piece of order in chaos. Days were spent moving, scanning for resources, and always being vigilant. The landscape was both a provider and a challenge. My senses sharpened, connecting me to primal instincts. Every rustle in the bushes, every change in the wind became a signal. Evenings were for reflection by the fire, a time to process the day's events. Planning the next day was crucial. Each night I would map out my route, considering the terrain and potential obstacles. Resilience became a practice. Setbacks were part of the journey. I learned to adapt, stay calm, and find solutions. Every challenge was a lesson in patience and perseverance. The wilderness taught me to accept and overcome challenges. Survival was about efficiency, making the most of what was available, and adapting to the environment. The fire was my companion, providing warmth, light, and a sense of security in the vast wilderness. It was a beacon in the dark, a reminder of human ingenuity and resilience. The journey was about finding peace and strength within, embracing the solitude and the lessons it brought. Each day was a step towards understanding the rhythms of survival, a dance with nature that required both humility and courage. Wildlife encounters were magical, humbling experiences. A puma moved silently, a reminder of nature's true rulers. Andean condors soared, symbols of the wild spirit. Smaller birds brought joy, breaking the silence. A huemul deer by a lake offered a moment of pure grace. These encounters deepened my respect for the natural world. I was a visitor, observing a world functioning without humans. Sharing the wilderness filled me with belonging. The animals were fellow inhabitants, each with its own story. Protecting these wild places became a personal mission. The wilderness was a reminder of our place in the world. These moments reinforced the need to preserve nature. 100 days alone was a journey into my mind. The silence was deafening, forcing me to confront my thoughts. I missed human voices, but solitude brought clarity. Talking to myself broke the oppressive silence. A journal became my confidant, processing highs and lows. Slowly, loneliness transformed into comfortable solitude. I found peace and focus without outside distractions. The wilderness was a mirror, reflecting my true self. I learned the difference between being alone and lonely. True strength comes from within, not from others. The journey taught me to rely on my own judgment. Solitude was a tool for navigating life's complexities. The final day was bittersweet, leaving the wild behind. I craved comforts, but felt sadness at leaving this paradise. The mountains and wind had become familiar friends. My reflection showed a changed person, stronger and resilient. The wilderness had forged me anew, teaching valuable lessons. True wealth is in experiences and connections, not possessions. Resilience is facing hardship with courage and adaptability. We are capable of more than we think. The human spirit endures. Wild places are arenas for discovering our best selves. You don't need Patagonia to find adventure. Step outside your comfort zone. Embrace the call of the wild. Face challenges and discover your strength. The adventure is waiting.